The following program is an encore presentation of a live presentation.
Good evening. Welcome to the award-winning cafe community. I'm your host, Cheryl Noble. Our program takes a look at people who make a difference in our community, as well as our incredible resources to help us live more sustainably and thrive together. And my guests all tonight demonstrate how we are building a better community through our nonprofits and our vibrant agricultural scene. A little bit later, we'll take a closer look at Sierra Mentoring Partnership. We'll also hear from Center for Nonprofit Leadership. And my first guests tonight are going to talk about food, local food, my favorite topic. So we're so glad you could be with us tonight. Let's get started. My first guests are with Nevada County Grown. And Nevada County Grown, along with the union, is sponsoring a conference this weekend called the Sustainable Local Food and Farm Conference. It's the first one to debut here with nationally known speakers. And we're going to, it's, as I understand, a sold-out conference, but the expo is free to the public. But I'd like to welcome onto the program my guest from Nevada County Grown. On my left is Reed Hamilton, and he is with Grass Valley Grains. On his left in the middle is Susan Morin. She is with Red Wolf Ranch. And her son is on her left, Tylen Morin, and he's also with Red Wolf Ranch. So welcome to the program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I'm going to start with you, Reed. Nevada County Grown has been around for a few years now. Tell us a little bit about the group. You're a member. You're all members. So what does that offer?
Well, Nevada County Grown was formed as a way to connect local farmers with consumers and to showcase the products by things like this marketplace at the conference and by the farm guide and the website and so on and so on.
Yeah, create a bigger presence that this is what we have here. Promote all of your farming and businesses and produce and ranching business. And I think that the group has been around for a few years now and growing.
Yeah, it started very small, and it's the people who took the bull by the horns and started it have really done a fantastic job and built this into a much more effective organization. It's been modeled on other counties that had similar type programs, but tremendous energy has gone into it.
Right. I see that they put out, I think it's a guide every year. Not really a guide, but a book of all the businesses and how to reach them and where they can be found and all of the resources. So it's really great. Tell me about the Grass Valley Grains, which is a little new presence now that we've got some grains locally.
Well, in about 2006, I got interested in contributing to the local food scene, local sustainability and reducing food miles and so on. And when I was thinking about things that I could do, I immediately thought of grain because I grew up on a grain farm. And I don't know about things like vegetables, so and nobody was doing grain, so it seemed like a logical connection. It's had its challenges trying to do it on a small scale. That's the biggest obstacle. Is mechanization is not really scaled for a small farm, but I'm making progress, and every year I grow wheat, rye, oats, and barley, and I've tried a bunch of other things, some of which didn't work
Don't
so
work.
well.
Well, gotta try it.
Yeah, and I mill all of my products into flour and rolled oats and ground oatmeal and pumpernickel flour, polenta, and so on and so on.
Great variety, great variety. Well, Susan, with local foods and ranching so important, tell us why this benefits our community and why it's important and why the conference can help us. And
oh, I think, Cheryl, it's huge because one of the things that as ranchers and farmers that we deal with is distribution. And when you have the cost of having to take that product outside of the community, the cost just almost doubles. The other thing that happens is, especially in this economy, that when we're taking care of our neighbors and our neighbors are taking care of us, it keeps our dollar local, and it also keeps our food on the table at at a smaller price, or a lower price.
And we know where our food is coming from.
Right, you can come up to the farm or the ranch and you can see it, and also it's fresher. You get a fresher product because it hasn't been in dry storage or it hasn't been irradiated. It comes straight off the ranch, goes into, in our case, it goes right into the freezer and a really hard freeze, and then it gets delivered to the customer.
Right.
So the shelf life is immediate. It's within 2 weeks of that product being packaged, and then you have it. It's not like something that you go and say value pack.
Right.
And
it has an expiration date on it.
Yeah.
Well, Tylen, I'll ask you about Red Wolf Ranch because I understand you grew up on the ranch. You're a part of the help there. And what do you have on the ranch? And tell us what you do.
Basically, what I do is I help feed the animals. I give them the grain that they need every day and whatever hay that our animals need, and just basically anything that needs to be fixed around the farm, fences, anything like that. And also we give our animals some vegetables. Usually we get stuff, and when we don't use it, we give it to them, basically.
I see. Yeah, so there's a full use of the food, so there isn't waste at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what kind of animals then on the ranch?
Right now we have chickens and horses, and at the moment we're going to get pigs, and we have cattle. So, and we also have sheep as well.
Yeah. How big is the ranch?
The ranch is about 3 acres. 7 acres.
Okay.
7 acres, and we have leased another 18 next to us, another 10, and then another 163.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, growing. I love it. So then you can have more animals and keep us fed more with a variety. So we're coming down to our last few seconds. And Tylen, this is a great inspiration for youth so that we can continue on this farming, ranching, giving to the community. And he's going to be, I think, a future member of Nevada County Grown. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do need to wrap it up. I want to thank you, Tylen, Susan, and Reed for coming on. The conference is this Saturday. It's already sold out, but the expo is open to the public, so come by and see what goods that they have and the resources that are there. It's this Saturday. Go to nevadacountygrown.org/conference for more information. And we've got to take our first break, so thank you for coming on. Stick around while I bring up my second guests.
Take me down today. Walk me down to the water. Wash me down. Okay. And I'm gone. Yeah. lets me down. Oh, and I'm done. And I'm done. Yes, I'm done. At the river, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to Cafe Community. My second guest tonight, first time on the program. I'm so delighted that they can be with us tonight. They are from the Center for Nonprofit Leadership. And on my left is Jeff Brown. He is the board chair. And on his left is Bill Neff, the board secretary. And he's also chair of the curriculum committee. Oh, I was just worried that I was going to spell that correctly. I couldn't even say it. So welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being here. First time on the program, Center for Nonprofit Leadership. Tell us what your organization is about, Jeff.
Well, I think we're the best kept secret in Nevada County.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, our mission is really to strengthen nonprofit organizations in order to advance the quality of community life in our county. We've been around actually since 2003, when a group of 14 executive directors of nonprofit agencies came together to create an informal collaboration to really try to provide some high-quality, low-cost training to board members and staff members.
Yeah, some continuing education, and I read that Nevada County had one of the highest number of nonprofits per capita than in the country.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't surprise me. So to have a leadership, a go-to place for them, a resource to enhance their skills and help us build a better community.
Advocacy is an important piece of what we do. I mean, I think there's been a myth that's been prevailing a number of years that we have too many nonprofits.
Yeah.
But when you take a look at all the nonprofits, about 680, and you actually look at those that have a budget over $25,000, it leaves slightly over 150 nonprofits. But when you look at those 150 nonprofits, if they were one agency, they'd be the third largest agency in the county behind the hospital and county government. They pay out over $32 million a year, and they have budgets of over $75 million a year.
Wow.
So one thing people don't realize about nonprofits, in addition to the goods and services they provide, is they create a huge economic impact in our community.
That's right, absolutely. And the money stays in our community, it gets reinvested in our community. So now, Bill, we'll go to you to talk about, because the educational component is so vital and at the essence of the organization, your role as the curriculum chair.
Well, basically, we fashion our programming about a year in advance, and the whole notion, very much like if you were putting together courses for a community college program, is to identify your participant base, the organizations, be they the executive director of the organization, the board members of the organization, the chair of the board, and the whole purpose then of developing these workshops, these courses, is to basically deliver these services and the information about how to enhance your capacity in your organization. And then as we talk about capacity building, we want to then move also into what are the best practices for the well-run nonprofits. In other words, what distinguishes them from others who are doing good works but flounder from time to time.
Right, and might fizzle after a few years.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing this year is we just finished a program that was so well received, we had requests to redo it, and we're doing that January 22nd. But that first program for this year is a fundamental establishment for each organization to assess where they are. As you mentioned, are we a real startup, or do we have some, are we in our teenage years, or are we in our adult years? As an organization, how far along are we? And are we doing it right? Are we building confidence in those who donate money to our organization, that it's being spent well
Yeah,
and
accountability.
efficiently and accountable and so on. So then we move then also in January into the relationship between executive directors and their boards. What should they be? What's the role of the chair of a board versus the executive director?
And that's the workshop on Saturday.
The 22nd.
The 22nd,
in the
yeah,
morning.
that's the Saturday.
Right.
And it's on
Board governance.
board governance.
Correct.
Right. So who would be want to attend the workshop? I mean,
Anybody who is presently on a board, hopes to be on a board of a nonprofit in the next few years as a volunteer, any executive director, and for some of the larger, and we don't have a large number of these organizations in Nevada County, but there are some nonprofits that have 6, 7, 8, 9 employees. In other words, the executive director is normally the first employee that's hired, part-time or full-time, and then as your programs develop and your financial base develops and so on, then you would move into possibly having a program director or a director of volunteers. Some nonprofits, even those that are, quotes, officially small on paper, might have 150 volunteers right now helping them with whatever their mission is.
Yeah.
Some of the arts organizations are that way.
right. That's a big area in our community, the arts. How many, the series, once a month about, is that
It
what
runs
you
about,
offer?
on an average, about every 5 to 6 weeks, very quickly. After January 22nd, which is on governance, then we get into staff leadership, which covers such areas as human resources and volunteer services, how to manage administrative systems, payroll, directors and officers, insurance, how to comply with the IRS regulations for nonprofits. And that's all on March 4th. That's an all-day program.
Oh, okay.
And then April 15th, we'll cover the topics involved in program development and services, followed May 20th by financing and budgets
Yeah, so
for
you
nonprofits.
really cover the full spectrum of essentials and keep it going, keep it viable.
This is all on our website.
And it's on your website. I was just going to say that's cnlsierra.org. And in our last few seconds here, Jeff, about how many members are part of nonprofit?
We have 48 nonprofit organizations as members, and then we have a number of residents in the community that highly value what we do that are also individual members.
Right. All this is very good. So, as I said, the nonprofits are so important to building a better community, and we're fortunate to have great resources and the continuing education to make them the best ever and give us our best services. So I'm just getting the wrap up now. I want to thank you, Jeff, for coming on the program, and Bill. For more information, that's cnlsierra.org or 265-5600 and Center for Nonprofit Leadership. So if you're interested, take a look. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take our second break, so stick around. We'll be right back.
I went down to the river today. I do my best sometimes to get away. She came down and she jumped right in. Love to see those jewels rolling down the street.
Welcome back to Cafe Community. Here we are in my third segment tonight, and another valuable, talking about nonprofits. I'd like to welcome to the program the Executive Director of the Sierra Mentoring Partnership. A return to the program. Welcome to Christine Kelly. Hi. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back. It's
You're
nice to be
welcome. Gosh, just learned January, National Mentoring Month, and today Martin Luther King and a Day of Service Day. So what better way than mentoring to offer services, help our neighbors, and build a community? And Sierra Mentoring Partnership, you offer that bridge for so many people.
Well, that's what our mission statement is building bridges between a caring community and children in need through the development of safe and effective mentoring programs. And I think that it's pretty poignant that all these things, as you say, fall on this one day.
Right.
I was actually this morning went to the Miners Foundry to listen to the Bethel AME choir sing this morning gospel, and
touching.
Really, and thought a lot about Martin Luther King, and that this is a day of service. So it is really it's a good time to reflect upon that.
Right. And I just read one of the things that one of his famous statements is, what are we doing for each other? And mentoring, I think, is so essential to reach out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, you're kind of an umbrella agency. So how does that work? Is it for other agencies as well as trying to match mentors with people?
Well, we do a little bit of both. We, on the direct service level, we provide a referral service. So if anybody has a child that they'd like to recommend, whether that's just somebody from the community or perhaps Child Protective Services is looking for a mentoring program, they can contact us, and we have a way to facilitate making a referral to the right agency. So we do that, but really we're also more of a behind the scenes, more like similar to Center for Nonprofit Leadership. We provide research, training for both mentors and staff. I work a lot with programs on their fund development plans, developing their board, helping them develop their boards and building their capacity so that they can be strong agencies. The way that I like to think about it is that they're very focused on providing the service out into the community, and they need somebody sort of that's there kind of watching their back a little bit. So that's really kind of what we do at the Mentoring Partnership.
So you can match up a specific need with a young person with the proper agency then, what their needs are.
Right.
And what about someone who's looking to mentor?
Well, we would love
gladly take them.
Gladly take people who are interested in mentoring. And I think that there are many different ways that people can contribute. I think that there's a fear in the beginning of, I don't have enough time in my life, or gosh, I'm not really quite good at that, or I'm not
kind of
cool
skills do
enough,
you
or
need?
what kind of skills do I need? And really what you need to do is just really care. I mean, I think that that's the thing that most young people are looking for caring adults in their lives, and that's what we're lacking. Sometimes that's just because of a family situation. You have a single parent family, and that parent's maybe working a couple of jobs and just doesn't have that time, that one-on-one time.
Right.
And the other thing that mentoring does is expose kids to other things that they wouldn't necessarily be exposed to in life. So you can do that on an informal level, teach somebody how to do some woodworking if you're interested in woodworking or working on a car. Or
expand their horizons.
Expanding their horizons is so important, because we have a lot of youth here that never actually can get out of Nevada County.
Right. Yeah, there is a world outside of Nevada
There
County.
is a
I mean,
world
we've got
outside
great
of Nevada
food
County.
and great resources. Why do you want to leave Nevada County? One of the programs that I saw on your website was a peer-to-peer mentoring. So it's not just adults with the kids, but I really liked that buddy system almost.
It's called the PAL program, and right now it is run through Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's a wonderful program that pairs high school seniors with kids in grade school and all the way through middle school. And it's such a great way for them to connect with older kids, and it also teaches them that they don't have to necessarily fear when they're going to be going into high school. It's not, giving high school kids sort of a nicer face than the big meanie that,
Oh, I see.
But it's a
schoolyard,
wonderful way for kids to feel like they can contribute as well. I think so. These older high school youth, it really touches them, and it makes a big difference in their lives.
Yeah,
becoming a
double payoff.
mentor to a young person.
The confidence for the mentor, giving confidence to the peer, the pal, is really good. So January, the president had proclaimed January National Mentoring Month.
National Mentoring Month was begun by a partnership between the government and the Harvard School of Public Health when it was really recognized that mentoring makes a tremendous difference in keeping kids in school, in preventing drug and alcohol abuse. And locally here, because of the partnership, now we have some data that's coming in over the last couple of years that really shows, when you put those numbers out there, that 83% of kids report an increase of self-esteem when they're in a mentoring program, and 76% report that they're doing better academically. And that's not, academically isn't always about your GPA, it's also about, your confidence level in school, and that, hey, I can do this.
And your motivation, to want to go to school, and to participate in the classes, maybe even do homework. I don't know. I just think this is a great, I just have to say, mentors on a personal level, they were so important to me. And even as an adult, I still have, there are people out there who just give of their time. So I guess it's an adult peer-to-peer pal system, which it's so valuable, like you say, on any level, just the kindness.
And that's similar to what the Center for Nonprofit Leadership does, that sort of sets up mentoring relationships when we all need a little bit of guidance in our lives. We all need that sort of support. And I think that it's just so tremendous for young people when you have someone that says, I believe in you. I think that everybody can look back and remember one or two critical people in their lives who really took an interest and said, you can do it. I believe in you.
Just that little gentle nudging. Which can go a long ways.
So January 25th is Thank Your Mentor Day, and we'll have a little place on our website, which is www.sierramentoring.org, and you can go and thank your mentor, remember somebody who was important to you in your life.
Oh, very nice.
We're on our Facebook page.
Okay, January 25th, Mentoring Day. So remember your mentors. Go to the website, sierramentoring.org, and you can also find them on Facebook, too. So, Christine, thank you for coming on.
It's
just always inspiring. I just love that. So we've run out of time, and thank you to my guests, the Nevada County Grown and the Center for Nonprofit Leadership, and to Christine Kelly at Sierra Mentoring Partnership. And the conference is Saturday, and the workshop is Saturday. We've got a lot going on. So we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.